In this video, we're going to show you how to replace a damaged tubing if you have a tubing that's actually cut into in the field, and it's very difficult to do. We've got videos of excavators running over this tubing, but it is possible, or if you just need to replace a display. First, you'll take all 5 screws out. We've got 4 in the corner. We have a small Phillips in the center. That has the battery cover screw has to come out also to get the back cover off. Some of these screws are going to be hex, and some of them are going to be Phillips. You'll just have to adjust to that. Once we take that off, we've got a small clamp that's holding our tubing on over a brass barb. A small Phillips screwdriver will take that out, or a straight. Once I get the screw backed out, I like to take a straight screwdriver and spread the clamp out. That makes the tubing come off easier, and it makes it go back on easier. And a lot of times I'll take that screwdriver and put it behind the tubing and work this tubing off initially, because that tubing actually, it feels like it grows onto this brass barb. If you need to, we can take and put a channel locks on it, and these are huge channel locks, not that large, but it won't hurt a thing to pull this tubing out and get it started like that, make it a little easier to pull off initially. Once you get it where it's coming out, then you'll pull it completely out. You'll cut the bad section of tubing out. I'm just going to cut this small section out here. Now, a little cheat that I use on this sometimes, if you cut a very small groove into this tubing, and I mean small, 1/16 of an inch, or as small as you can cut it, that's going to make the air bleed out around that just a little bit better, and it needs to be tiny. Now, the oil will go, it follows gravity, so if you raise the tubing higher than the reel, the oil is going to go down your tubing. If you hold the tubing lower than the reel, your oil is going to come up in the tubing. So what we're going to do is actually, and you're going to have to follow me on this one, Miss Jennifer, we're going to put the tubing back through here where it starts. I've got to get this in my right hand, so we may lose a good view of it. All right, I'm going to get close to here. Now, I'm going to lower this just a little bit below the reel so you can see the oil going back up the tubing. And then when it gets right at the brass barb, you can see it coming up, and I've got that little slot where we can see it. When the oil comes up to the brass barb there, I'm simply going to push the tubing onto that brass barb. And then we'll work the tubing all the way down. We may need to take a screwdriver and kind of get our little clamp back over here on the tubing where it goes. And sometimes you have to get your mouth just right. This is why I say I like to open that clamp up a little bit. It makes it a little easier typically to go back on that tubing. There we go. And then once I get the clamp down over the tubing like that, I can push this tubing all the way up flush. And I want to hold this up a little bit to make sure I don't have, we got one tiny microscopic bubble there. That's not going to hurt anything whatsoever. And we'll just snug our clamp up, put everything back together, and we are back in business. And you can do this on a job site in literally 5 minutes, even if you've never done it before. It's a very easy, quick operation.